back to Guitar Search Saturdays. My name's Shane. We're here at 7C Music in Florida in our quest to find all the coolest guitar shops across the great state of Florida here. And 7C Music is one of the finest. They've got one of the best repair centers I've ever seen. They've got a cafe, a stage, electric guitars, acoustic guitars, and arguably the best selection of Talyors I've ever seen when it comes to the acoustic selection. It's really great. The shop is something else on the inside, and I can't wait to show you around. A massive thank you to David and Joel from 7C Music for letting us do this walkthrough. I really appreciate it. If you enjoy the series, please leave a thumbs up. These videos aren't sponsored or anything like that, and I'm really keen to get in there because one, it's really hot out here and I'm already starting to sweat, and two, the shop totally rocks. So let's go in and check it out. How cool is this? We get a live performing stage here in the shop. I reckon all music shops should have this. It's a really great addition. Not only is it a good chance to jam and do some live shows, but I guess you can also just crank up the amps on stage and get a sense of how they might sound live instead of being crammed into a smaller room. This is a really great idea, and it looks epic. They've got lighting rigged up everywhere, great PA systems, speaker systems, foldbacks, everything on here. And what a great backdrop. Plenty of acoustics and some electric guitars. Here we have a Rivera amplifier combo. This is the 5512, so it's loaded with a 12-inch speaker. The idea behind these is you get that Fender clean channel with a Marshall drive channel. Although it doesn't quite sound like either, it does a pretty decent job at giving you a really usable clean with a really usable drive channel. You get a nice reverb circuit. You don't often see too many Rivera amps anymore, at least in the used guitar shops and so forth. So great to see these. If you're looking for a good 2-channel amp, you can give these a shot. I'm pretty sure they also have a boost circuit where you can pull out on one of the gain controls and get a little bit of extra drive. So very cool. I haven't seen one of these in years. Here we have a Victoria. This is based on the Fender Bassman. It's a hand-wide version, and these are really premium amplifiers. This is pre-owned as well, but it's great to see Victoria amps kicking around. One of the best ones I ever heard was a Victoria Regal. My good friend Dr. Rick sold his. He's a little on the crazy side, but great amplifiers. All right, we have guitars hanging from the rafters in 7C Music, mostly electric guitars. There are a few basses as well, but we have a Jimi Hendrix one right here. I know a good subscriber, Jamal, has one of these. These are a great looking guitar. We also have a whole bunch of more obscure ones across this section here as well. Here we have some really great Duesenberg electric guitars. I've played basically all of these now in left-handed. These are all righties. This is the Mike Campbell TV Star Player, one of my favorite electric guitars of all time. One of the great things about it is this tremolo arm. This whole spring mechanism works beautifully. It doesn't affect your tuning or anything like that. And we get two of the most musical pickups we could get. A P90 style in the neck and a humbucker in the bridge pickup. And it's nice and lightweight, it feels great in the hand, and it's a really great point of difference from something like a Gibson or any other standard sort of dual pickup electric guitar. So these are some of my favorite. Here we have a Gibson Les Paul standard double cut. So this isn't so standard. I haven't seen one of these in a very long time. This is pre-owned, and it's a great looking electric guitar, very reminiscent of the one behind it, which is a PRS Custom 22. So as you can see, a very similar aesthetic and overall design. So let us know in the comments which one you'd prefer, the PRS or a double cut when it comes to a Les Paul. Here's part of the service area right here. So if you need your guitar repaired, they've got it out on full display so you can watch it get done in real time. It's pretty wild. Down the back, there's a full factory, and I'll hopefully show you some footage of that in just a moment. One of my favorite Talyor acoustic guitars is the GS Mini. I've seen these everywhere on this particular trip, so maybe it's a sign I should finally pull the trigger on these. They sound great, they're loaded with a really great pickup system, and they sound much bigger than they should, and I'm a big fan of not having one of those massive acoustic cases taking up space. So a little guitar like this is a really great thing. This is right-handed, but very cool guitar. And all of this wall here, as you can see, all Talyor acoustics. This is the high-end acoustic room. We have guitars from Martin, Taylor, Collings. All of these ones up the top are Collings. And this beautiful Talyor over here looks absolutely stunning. This is the 914 CE, and the detail around the edge of this guitar looks stunning, as does the fretboard. Just an absolutely beautiful instrument. I'm here with Joel at 7C Music in St. Petersburg. Thank you so much for letting us do this walkthrough. I appreciate it.
We're happy to have you here.
The shop is just, well, shop, cafe, wine bar, repair center is insane. Tell us a little bit about how this started and how it got to be this beautiful.
My dad and I opened the shop here in St. Pete almost 6 years ago. My father and I used to work for Talyor Guitars, and but we're here from Florida originally. So my dad, when he retired from Talyor, he was one of the lead designers there. Him and Larry Breedlove and Bob Taylor were kind of the dream team for many years. And when he retired from Talyor, he moved back here to Florida, and he started repairing on the side. Acoustic Guitar Magazine and I think Guitar World did an article on him retiring because he had designed the T5, the expression system, many things. Has about 7 patents under his belt through Talyor. So a couple of those articles came out and said he moved to St. Petersburg, Florida, and people just found him. So about a year later, he called me and was like, "Hey, would you want to move down here and maybe open up a shop together?" Here we are. We knew we wanted to have more than just a, big box store kind of a guitar shop. So we wanted it to be unique with leather couches, just lounging couches, and have a place where you felt like you actually wanted to come and sit down. So there's some bistro tables and stuff. Like I said, we have a concert tonight. We knew we wanted to have live music, to have a place where people could come and play, local artists and touring artists, and we always wanted coffee during the day or something to drink. So we knew when we opened this shop, we knew we wanted to add that element to this. So.
I mean, the whole design of this is, it's so cool. It's like industrial on one side. You look at the next side, it's like arty, and it's really put together beautifully. Like the cafe area here just looks stunning.
So this is the back. We have 3 techs that work back here. John does some electronic work. Evan's working on a ukulele right now, obviously replacing the tuners, but he does fret work. Hunter, who works at this bench, worked for Glazer, so he does a lot of our neck resets, our classic neck resets. I would say 75% of acoustic guitars are going to need a neck reset in its lifetime. Some of them you wouldn't do it because it's not worth it, because it's a major surgery for a guitar. A lot of people don't know this, but your 70s Martins, the saddle was placed in the wrong spot on almost every single one of them from 70 to 79. Oh, no. And so your intonation is off. A lot of guys don't know that, and Martin won't tell you that, but I don't mean that in any way. So a lot of times we have to put an oversized bridge on it so that we can get the saddle slot in the right spot. Another one is guild. We are a guild warranty center as well, but a lot of guilds need new bridges and put it in the right spot. A lot of times you have to make a little bit oversized bridge just to fit that footprint to cover finish flaws that may have, or finish peeling up that maybe happened from over time from that shifting. So these are just some bridges. These are probably just protos that were just laying around here, but we kind of clamp the guitar down and able to route it out instead of trying to hand route it and it moving and not being out, and then you got a perfect route, the perfect depth, and it's clean and it looks beautiful. So those are just a couple things. Then we just do little fun laser stuff with it too,
All right, so what do we have here?
So this is actually one of my dad's retirement gift from Talyor, actually, but this is a guitar that he designed for Talyor.
Wow.
One of his designs, this is a Baritone 8-string. Obviously, it's tuned to a baritone tuning, but you've got octave, what would be your D and G strings, which are actually your A and D strings, have octaves on them. This one in particular, Larry Breedlove and Bob Taylor designed this, and it just showed up on my dad's doorstep after he had retired here. So this is an inlay that Larry Breedlove designed, and this is actually a set of Brazilian that was Bob Taylor's personal set, and Bob picked it out of his collection of wood. And sent it. They built, Bob and Larry kind of had this guitar built for him, and presentation series almost inlaid with a Brazilian set. So it's probably, I mean, it's priceless to us, but it's, probably a $10,000 guitar plus. But so this is a cool guitar because it's one of the designs that my dad did for Talyor, and it was a custom built one for him. So
yeah, definitely never seen one with eight strings.
Yeah, before. it's a unique, and with the baritone, tuning, it's really cool. You can do some really unique writing with it if you like that baritone sound, but you also want some of that 12-string kind of jangle in the middle. So
yeah, nice.
Yeah. So another unique guitar that we have here, this is #1 of the T5, the Talyor T5. T5 was another design that my dad came out with through Talyor. It was actually designed for me. I was touring in a band for many years, and he wanted to design something that could play acoustic and electric together. And so the T5 came about. It was actually going to be a bass originally. A lot of people don't know that, but Bob Talyor came in and said, why don't you, what if we put a guitar neck on it? And so my dad basically cut the neck off and put a 6-string, guitar neck on it, and it turned into the T5. There's now obviously the T5Z, which is a smaller version that was designed originally for Prince. And but this is #1. This is the very first production model of the T5. It's just cool to have that. Another cool guitar to have in the shop here. It's obviously these are for just display, but they're really cool to have.
Does it feel more like an electric guitar in the hand, or more of an acoustic?
So I would say the cool thing is there's two. It says T5 would be more like an acoustic. So you've got a 15-inch radius on the fingerboard. It's got standard, kind of 43 thousandths frets in it, and so the setup is more like an acoustic. It's a bigger body, like a 335 kind of bigger style. The T5Z, it's got a tighter radius, so it's a 12-inch radius. It's got jumbo frets, so it plays a little more like an electric. But the cool thing is they can do both. They can do acoustic and electric. It's got a top sensor in the top. It's got a stacked humbucker in the bridge. It's also got hidden, you don't see it, but there's an actual stacked humbucker under the extension of the neck as well.
Okay, far out.
So you got a 5-way switch. You got acoustic. You can get a jazz tone. You can get a telly tone out of that bridge pickup, and you can get a Strat.
It sounds like it was pretty innovative for having
for that,
all those options.
When it came out, it was, it won both the best acoustic guitar and best electric guitar of the year at the NAMM show. So
that's impressive.
It was pretty cool. And there's copies of it everywhere now. And there's many other reputable companies that are making copies of it as well. So
we've got more acoustic guitars over here from other brands, including Gibson. These are the pre-owned ones right here. If we go down here, we've got Eastman guitars, which I've recently showcased on the channel. Great sounding acoustics and electrics, but these are just the straight up acoustic guitars, and more Eastmans along the top. It's really surprising just how far they've come with their electrics and their acoustics. These are every bit as good as far more expensive alternatives. Thanks for watching, folks. My name's Shane. A massive thank you to Joel for giving us the rundown of 7C Music. While it looks somewhat unassuming on the outside, inside it's beautiful, and it really stands alone as one of the best guitar shops I've seen anywhere in the world. I love the fact that it also has a live stage, food and drinks, all that kind of stuff, and some really great vintage gear, new and affordable gear in here as well. What a great store. So thank you to Joel for giving us the tour and the rundown. A massive thank you to Rhiannon behind the camera for helping with this particular series. If you want to see more in this particular guitar shops across Florida series, I'll link it up in the cards and you can check it out. But if you're in the city, definitely give these guys a look. It's a really great experience. Thanks again for watching. Catch you soon. See ya.